Hi everybody, it's time for another Books on the Big and Small Screen review. This time we're going to review, in my view, the greatest Western ever put to any screen, big or small, Lonesome Dove. Now, as you recall, we reviewed the novel some weeks ago, but we're going to review the miniseries now. Um, it was um, It was released in 1980. It aired on CBS over 4 nights in 1989, and um, it was the cast includes a who's who of Hollywood, including Tommy Lee Jones as Woodrow Call, Robert Duvall as Augustus McCrae, and Scott Urich as Jake Spoon, Ricky Schroeder as Newt Dobbs, um, Angelica Houston as Claire Allen, Danny Glover as um, Joshua Dietz, um, and a whole host of others. Um, and this is the western that turned me into a massive Robert Duvall fan. And the reason I think it is the greatest western of all time is because this is a perfect western, and it there's hardly any changes from the novel. I mean, it follows the novel to a T, and it's one of those westerns that I can't think of anybody else playing those roles. Although um, there have been sequel miniseries and prequel miniseries done, but in my view, Tommy Lee Jones and Robert Duvall will always be uh, Gus and Call, and any other any other actors that have attempted those roles pale in comparison to Tommy Lee and Robert Duvall. And actually, this is the western that turned me into a western fan. Period. After viewing this for the first time, I was hooked on the genre, and it is just tremendous. Um, I, you know, and um, I just love it. And it aired over 4 nights in February of 1989, and it was a huge hit uh, with you know in it was a huge TV hit, and which will be explained uh, later on in the video in a voiceover and a graphic, and it is it's like the book. It's funny in some parts, very emotional in others, and it's just perfect. And I mean, and I I always I always thought that if I got a chance to meet Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones, Robert Duvall or Tommy Lee Jones or anybody from Lonesome Dove, I would tell them that it was because of Lonesome Dove that I became a Western fanatic. And actually, um, Suzanne DePass, formerly of Motown, was involved with this. She was an executive producer, which is something that didn't click with me for several years until a couple years ago that it was the same Suzanne DePass, and that was involved with Motown. And and something else that I'd like to mention, um, Angelica Houston's performance as Clara Allen is kind of similar to what I was saying about um, Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee's performances as Woodrow and Gus, is that Sissy Spacek on kind of deviate from the point from to kind of pivot from the point for a minute. Sissy Spacek took over the role of Clara Allen in Streets of Laredo, which, by the way, we're just going to review Lonesome Dove. We're not going to review any of the other sequel or prequel miniseries. But anyway, she took over the role of Clara in Streets of Laredo. Um, and no disrespect to Sissy, I love Sissy Spacek to pieces as an actress, but her, Angelica Houston in my eyes will always be Clara Allen. And if you haven't watched, if you're a Western fan and you haven't watched this, what are you waiting for? It's fantastic, and I highly suggest you watch it. You will love it. And and please do. and it won 7 Emmy Awards. Over the years, there have been several DVD releases of Lonesome Dove, including a 4 collection box set with all 4 Lonesome Dove related films, including Return to Lonesome Dove, and a 3 collection set with just Lonesome Dove, Streets of Laredo, and Dead Man's Walk. Shot and produced by Annenbar, audio and video provided by WeVideo and the YouTube Music Library, screen recordings taken from Wikipedia and IMDb, photo taken from Google Images.